Okay guys, it's a beautiful day for filming a video. Hey guys, I thought today would be a good day to drag out all my Jonsereds chainsaws and sort of show them to you. My Jonsered collection. So I got out my book, the old Chainsaws, a history book. It's a good book, you guys ought to get it. But anyways, I was reading up a little bit, and Jonsered, they started in, when was it, 1833. They started out as, in the textile industry, making sails for ships and stuff like that. And anyways, they got into the forestry industry later and made like wood processing equipment and stuff like that. I guess the Comet company made a chainsaw, and the Jonsereds made parts for them, and then eventually I guess they basically took over the manufacturing of the Comet chainsaw, and then eventually Jonsered bought them out and made their own chainsaw. And anyways, that's how they got started. And the first chainsaw they came out with was a diesel chainsaw, and it was sort of funky. It you had to turn the chainsaw upside down to start it, and then once you got it running, you flipped it over, and it was weird. Chad at Nothing But Chainsaws, he did a good video on sort of on the history of Jonsereds as well. I'll put a link to that. You guys can check that video out too. He did a good job with it. But I thought I'd show you what I got here. So here's the 601. Oh, and Raket means rocket, I guess, in Swedish. And I guess that they came up with that. They came up with that name. I guess they had a contest at the factory with the employees to come up with a new name for their chainsaw, and that's what they came up with, was the Rocket, or the Raket. So anyways, this is the 601. So this is the one I restored. And this is the one that I put together out of a bunch of really nice original parts. And that's the one that I did the holes in the chainsaw bar. It looks cool. And then there's the 751 that I restored. It's a 75cc chainsaw. The 601s are 56 cc's. Yeah, and that's a cool saw. And there's some subtle differences. The 751 is obviously bigger, but you can tell it's a 751 because they just have one screw, and the 601s have two screws on the top cover. And the top cover is a little bit taller on the 751s. And then the side covers for these are like hen's teeth. This is an original one that's never been broke that I got. And the other ones on here, like this one was broke really bad. It's all been JB welded and pieced together. Same with this one. But this one is an original that's never been broke, and that's pretty rare. You don't see those much anymore. And then here's a 601 part saw that I might put together. This is what they look like underneath. That's what I like about them too. They're a nice simple chainsaw to work on. Just tillets and carburetor just straight through, and the exhaust on the other side. And they're sort of interesting too because the coil mounts underneath the top cover. So when you take it off, you have to unplug it. Sort of interesting. And then there's the back of those beautiful saws. And then I didn't realize it, but I've collected quite a bit of parts. I got quite a few carcasses. Look at that, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, think I got like 5 crankcases in there and all kinds of parts and pieces. And then there's a 751 case half, some parts, and here's another 751 that I actually got from a subscriber. He said that he had it and wanted to know if I'd be interested in it, and so he made me a good deal on it. So I think between, let's see, oh yeah, this is a 751 too, and this one's a little bit worse for the wear. It's got some broken case parts, and anyways, I think between these two I can make another nice 751. And I think I want to do the same thing, make a really nice just original one, because I've already got one that I restored here, see? And then the 621s are sort of the evolution of the 601. They're sort of the later model version, the anti-vibe. Same size, it's 56 cc's. It's basically the same chainsaw, except it's anti-vibe, see? And the nice thing about the 621s is there's still quite a bit of parts available because they're a little bit later chainsaw. So here's the one that I restored, and then here's a nice original one, and they both run good. Sort of a modernized version. These were like made in the late 70s, and the 601s and the 751s were more like late 60s, early 70s. And I think they made the 621s maybe into the 80s. But see, this one has the original spark plug cover, which is sort of hard to find because usually it goes missing. And it's got the hand guard, the silver color. That's sort of cool. And then yeah, there's that nice original one. And then I always like to, like on this 621, this muffler is actually off of a 52E or a 52. They bolt right on, but it has the big output, which is sort of cool. And the other cool thing about the 52, which is a later Jonsereds chainsaw, and I don't have one, but the dog spikes for the 52 look like this. They're a little beefier, and they'll bolt right on one of these. In fact, that's what I put on this 751. And I was thinking about putting one on this one so that she'll sit up. See, so she'll sit up and not flop her nose in the dirt. So anyways, aren't those just the coolest looking chainsaws? I thought they were. So anyways, I thought I'd drag them out and take a look at them. You know how it is when you collect stuff, you don't realize how many you have until you get them all in one place. Ouch. So that's my collection, my Jonsereds. So yeah, I want to put a nice original 751 together out of that one. And then I'll have to go through all my parts and see if I can put a couple more together to sell maybe. But anyways, there they are, guys.